Pikmin 2 is one of the most divisive games in the franchise. Personally, it's one of my favorite Pikmin games, but for others it's by far the worst, mainly due to them not liking the caves, which to me is understandable, as they are a vast departure from the core Dandori gameplay that Pikmin 1 established and was later expanded on in Pikmin 3, where the caves are much more focused on survival and being able to react quickly to unpredictable situations, rather than learning the level and refining your strategy to get everything as quickly as possible. So if that's the only type of gameplay you care about in the Pikmin series, Pikmin 2 is the worst one, as despite it introducing two captains allowing you to multitask a lot more easily than in the first Pikmin game, you really have no incentive to due to the day limit being removed, but more importantly, the overworld design and treasure locations are just not as good as the other three Pikmin games. That on top of the fact that most of the maps in this game are repurposed from the first Pikmin game, means that when someone replays Pikmin 2, they're probably not going back for that portion of the game primarily. But a lot has changed since 2004, and fans can do whatever they want with Pikmin 2 now, due to the significant advancements made in Pikmin 2 modding, to the point where over the past few years, we've been getting a lot of high quality mods that essentially create new games out of what Pikmin 2 had to offer, with the most notable ones out now being Pikmin 251, Pikmin 269, and most recently a mod by Bredabug called Pikmin 2 Caveless Edition, finally bringing to fruition what Pikmin 1 and 3 fans hoped Pikmin 2 would have been like. Not only are the caves removed in this hack, but locations of treasures, enemies, and obstacles have also been altered in order to make the gameplay above ground feel more involved and provide more of a fleshed out experience than the original Pikmin 2 did, without changing them too significantly, making it an entirely different experience. It's really weird in a good way playing this game, as a lot of the original game's puzzles are still intact, such as building the two bridges over the water in Awakening Wood, or fighting the fiery ball blacks in Valley of Repose, but it also makes changes that significantly changes the way you explore the overworld, or at least the order you find things, as yellow Pikmin are found on day 2 in the Valley of Repose instead of purples, and the wall submerged in water has been replaced with a wall engulfed in fire, with the drain rock that would normally be there to drain the water being replaced by the Pluckaphone, the item that you normally get in Submerged Castle that allows you to pluck all of your Pikmin with a simple whistle blow, which is super nice to have early on, but is also a little strange that they included it in this hack in particular, as he also went out of his way to update the plucking mechanics to be the same as Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 4, with improvements such as idle captains automatically plucking Pikmin and only having to press the button once in order to start the plucking, which all gets mitigated the second you get the Pluckaphone, which is like the third or fourth treasure you can get in the game. But regardless, having the Pluckaphone and access to the rest of Valley of Repose right away is really nice, but not as nice as the inclusion of a white onion. This one change completely transforms how you play this mod in comparison to the original overworlds of Pikmin 2, as having access to a significant amount of white Pikmin, as well as having the ability to replenish them whenever you want, changes a lot more than you think. In the original Pikmin 2, white Pikmin have 4 distinct abilities: being immune to poison, being able to detect and uncover underground treasure, as well as being super fast and poisoning enemies when they are eaten. Unfortunately, due to the limited number of white Pikmin you can create in the original Pikmin 2, you won't want to utilize the poison ability, as white Pikmin are a limited resource and killing them isn't a very viable strategy in order to do damage to enemies when you won't have any white Pikmin left to deal with poison hazards or find underground treasure, making that ability more of a failsafe than an actual thing you would intend to utilize, and their extra speed is rather pointless due to there being no time limit or urgency to get stuff back quickly in caves, and no incentive really to do it in the overworld either, as you probably won't have your white Pikmin on hand unless there's an underground treasure or some poison to take care of, due to you wanting to keep them safe because of their limited amount. Having an onion completely removes those two caveats that make the poison death and extra speed superfluous in the original Pikmin 2, as the whole name of the game in this hack is to get all of the above ground treasures back as quickly as possible. The best Pikmin to do that would obviously be the white Pikmin, because they carry stuff the fastest. They also carry corpses back the fastest, meaning they're the fastest Pikmin to produce. You'll always want to have them on hand in case there's an underground treasure, and since leaf Pikmin in the original Pikmin 2 are so painfully slow, the white Pikmin being able to actually catch up with you speeds up and improves your Dandori by a lot. And that's not even mentioning the fact that they poison enemies when they die, meaning that you can get a group of 100 white Pikmin, have them battle enemies without a care in the world, and they will always come back on top, and bring back the enemy corpses in record time in order to replenish those lost numbers. The hack creator probably did notice how useful white Pikmin are in a version of Pikmin 2 without caves, and where they have an onion, so Bredabug did give white Pikmin the nerf that they got in Pikmin 4 and 3, where they only do half damage to enemies, but most of the time, that doesn't really matter because they literally damage enemies when they die. If an enemy in Pikmin eats Pikmin, it's impossible for a group of 100 white Pikmin to lose outside of dying, which dying is a pretty big L, but in Pikmin it doesn't matter because all Pikmin are replaceable. I mean, we're dealing with Louis here, the guy who gets upset when certain Pikmin types are inedible. With how dangerous he can be, it's better to work with him than against him. He probably just sees them dying as adding extra flavor to his Balbor bisques anyways. But luckily, this doesn't make reds completely useless for combat, as they do have their 1.5 damage multiplier, meaning they do 3 times more damage than white Pikmin. And if you want to get things done quickly, they're probably the best bet to kill enemies. I just think it's fun to kill white Pikmin. But what about purple Pikmin? Don't their combat abilities make red Pikmin pretty useless in comparison? Well, you're right, but there aren't any purple Pikmin in this hack. Besides purple pellets spawning for whatever reason, they are nowhere to be found, and it makes red Pikmin a lot more useful as a result. And it also makes bags much more convenient to crush in this game. Don't get me wrong, purple Pikmin are definitely the most OP type in Pikmin 2, but besides taking down enemies, doing anything quickly isn't really their strong suit. Oh my god, lose weight! But it's not only their movement speed, but the puzzles that they are required for in the overworld, like the Doomsday apparatus, you literally have to spend like 5 minutes just looking at the Pikmin move it. And this type of stuff really dampens the strategy element of the overworld, with white Pikmin having the exact inverse effect as they are super fast. That on top of the ability to traverse the world much more seamlessly with the inclusion of Louis and being able to switch between him and Olimar at any given time, makes Pikmin 2 Caveless Edition the Dandori dream that all Pikmin 1 and 3 fans wish it could have been. Well, almost. Because there's one issue that is pretty minor, but does hamper the game's flow, and is a pretty major annoyance for anyone trying to do minimum day runs of this hack, which is the fact that once you get 10,000 Pokos, no matter what you were doing or what time in the Pikmin day it is, the game will automatically initiate the first ending of Pikmin 2 and force you to end the day early. Meaning that if you're not paying attention to your Poko count, you could lose some valuable time that you wanted in order to beat the game in the least amount of days possible. Another critique I have for this hack is the lack of boss battles. Iconic Pikmin 2 enemies such as Man-at Legs, Segmented Crobster, Ranging Bloister, Empress Ballblacks, and a bunch of others aren't used in this hack, which is probably a result of him not wanting the experience to be coming across a boss every 2 seconds in the overworld. I'm not suggesting you bring every single boss from Pikmin 2 back, but there are some dead-end areas in the game that used to have caves, which would have been good places for bosses to be, like the entrance to Subterranean Complex or Frontier Cavern. But that aside, this is an amazing hack that I all recommend you check out. I will leave Bredbug's release video in the description below and the pinned comment, and through that you can download the mod and play it for yourself. Then you can come back here and tell me what you thought of it. Or if you've already played it, you can go into the comment section and do that right now. Or say whatever you want, I always read the comments, so whatever you have to say, I'm interested in hearing it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.